All right. Let's see. Guys, I know you probably waiting for me to say something. I'm just double checking something real quick because I'm trying to make sure the show is live. And it is. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. We had a little technical difficulties that we had to clear up, but we seem like we're good now. Anyway, I just want to say, who left the fridge open? It's cold as hell all of a sudden. 30 something degrees. It was nice before and ain't nice no more. So anyway, we dealing with it, man. This is life. We've had a really good week, even though it was not too many games. But the Knicks, like we've talked about before, man, they went on that losing streak. People were jumping out the window. Then we got a 4-game winning streak, and we brought them back. And the people are back, baby. So shout out to all y'all. We got a lot to talk about. We got a special guest in the building who's more like family. You already know he's been here before. Now it's not even, he ain't special no more. I'm sorry. He's one of us. So so shout out to our guy. And let's get it going, man, without further ado, because unfortunately this should have been going already. Sorry for the delay, guys, but if you knew the whole story, you'd be laughing too. Anyway. All right, let's go.
Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, New York, go. Say go, New York, go, new team, it's the same dream. New Knicks City uniform, they stay clean. I just caught mine off the Fanatics in the garden with my hands in the air, we back at it.
All right. Shout out to all you guys. Thank you for being here on this Monday night. And thank you for tuning in to SKF Weekly. Once again, if I haven't said it already, I would like to say that, shout out to all y'all. I hope you are in the best of health. We are blessed and highly favored to be here and walk on this earth. I'm wishing the best of health to not only you, yourselves, your family members, your friends, loved ones, everybody. And also don't forget to get yourself checked because, there's a lot of stuff happening and we don't want to wait till it's too late. Even if it's bad news, I'd rather hear the bad news and have a shot than not know no news and just find out a different way, when there's no shot. So definitely, get yourself checked out, man. Like I say, not once a year, at least twice a year. Some people doing it quarterly, but at least twice a year, y'all, because 6 months goes quick. Anything can happen. Anyway, definitely, man. Appreciate all y'all. I am your man, Ron. That is okay. All right. I've done that already. Hey, there we go, baby.
2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Wow. Look at that. Look at me introing you and hitting all the sound effects for the first time tonight. Not like we had difficulties until we were recording earlier, but whatever. Anyway. Yeah.
40 some odd minutes in. No.
Yeah, it could be worse, could be better, but it is what it is. Anyway, shout out to my brother John in the building. 2 in a row, baby.
Yes, I'm here. Excited to be here.
We here. And just want to let the chat know, some of y'all have been here rocking and y'all talking. Where y'all at? We saw that. We saw all that. It just, y'all didn't see us. Anyway, all right, let me get my man in here, the one and only Mr. Objective Knicks fan himself, Karan in the building.
Let's go. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Salute.
Yes.
Still Knicks fan army. We in the house.
Yes, we back, baby.
We excited. Yeah, we excited. 4 in a row. We looking good.
Yes, we are. So to avoid doing everything twice, I asked these gentlemen how they were doing, and they're doing good. So I'm moving on. This is great. All right. So first off, guys, let me just say, before we continue, I didn't mention this yet, but I want to mention it now. I want to say thank you to everybody for all of the likes and the kind and well wishes. Unfortunately, I personally do not have any contact or any connection with our brother Stafford Don's family. So, it's not like I could tell him, hey, everybody's shouting him out and really, blah, blah, blah. But I'm sure that he's looking down on us and he appreciates all the well wishes. If y'all didn't check it out, there's a little something on Still Nick Fans page. Little something for Stafford Don. We appreciate him. So, another one, man, guys. It's tough. It sucks. But this is life. All right. So now that being said, I want to get to the two games we had this week because the Knicks had a nice break. We got a really good homestand. There's been home cooking has been great. The Knicks have they've turned everything around. They're now 6-3, in 9 games. And but the first game this week on Wednesday was Minnesota versus the Knicks. And if I may, I'm going to start with Karan once again for the first time for y'all, the second time for us. What's your thoughts on Minnesota versus the Knicks, my brother?
Well, it's great that first take got erased because I couldn't find my notes. So it was all good. I'm glad that take got erased, even though I did it. I think I did a pretty good job.
No, I think you were fine. I never would have known.
But as far as this game, I feel like this game doubled down on how real this Knick team is. We beat the Bulls, and that to me was a really good win, a statement win. We got 3 statement wins early in the year, and this Minnesota Timberwolves team, even though they're not as good defensively as they were last year, they're bottom 10 in defense, but they are top 10 in offense, and they've been blowing teams out the water, especially when they get going. They got a whole bunch of shooters from Naz Reid. Dante had a really good game. Randall was lighting us up, and this win was a really good win despite all of that stuff. Mitchell Robinson looks great even in spot minutes. I think that it doesn't even matter who starts, who comes off the bench, because Mitchell Robinson, he started every game, but he hasn't closed any game, especially because we got so many blowouts. I think this is our 5th blowout, or we have 5 blowouts on the year. So, we're just running through teams, and this Minnesota win, very impressive. Another 40-point quarter in the third quarter. Right now, we are 4-0 in third quarters. When we go into the fourth quarter, so third quarters are very important for this team. Last year, I believe it was maybe the second time or up to the first time we seen the Thunder. We were right behind them in third quarter plus minus. So this Knick team is a really good third quarter team. It's looking like they're going to continue that trend. So a lot of things this game confirmed for me, even the glass. Mitchell Robinson even though I think we were a solid rebounding team last year, not based on rebounds per game, but based on opponents' rebounds. We were second in the league at limiting the opposing team on the glass. So now we're doing that again, but now we're getting more rebounds. We average about 48 rebounds a game, and that's because of Mitchell Robinson. His impact has been tremendous. And so everybody's playing defense. I mean, these guys are flying around. The bench is dominant. 4 games in a row where they score more than 37.5 points, and we're 4-0 in every single one of those games. So the bench is cooking. Mike Brown is doing an excellent job, and I'm happy. But this win was a real win. I think we got 3 real wins thus far. So let's see if this continues, because we have Orlando coming and Memphis.
Yep. Yeah. This is true. And yeah, it was nice to see. It's good to see because Minnesota was playing well coming into the game. So it's not like, this was no walk in the park. The Knicks just, they kept plowing away. Like you said, that third quarter was very important, and it helped them flip the switch and take over the game, because I said this on Saturday. It was fun watching the little clip of Minnesota on the sidelines to start the game, in the middle of the game, and in the end of the game. They started off, rah, 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 yeah, yeah. Then in the middle of the game, a little bit more down. Then by the end of the game, Dante came over, he threw his mask on the floor. I was like, yeah, great. Anyway, that was dope. I love that. John, what was your thoughts on the game, brother?
I'm excited. Exactly what Karan had stated earlier. The Knicks are playing well. It's just, a lot going on with the team right now. We noticed since Coach Brown decided to go strictly to that 9-man roster, There's a lot more gelling that's happening. There's a lot more chemistry. There's a lot more cohesiveness with this team currently as constructed. The bench is playing well. Starters are playing well. The mixed lineups are looking good as well. I love what Coach Brown is doing. You know what I mean? He's not just settling for, a starting rotation or a bench rotation. He's mix and matching. And whatever player is being tasked to do, whether they're being tasked to start or to come off the bench, everyone understands their role and is coming in and playing high level basketball, and I think that's important. Seeing that we've lost a couple of games early in the season, I think that's also something not to be proud of. You know what I mean? Like, to look at that and say, hey, you've learned from some mistakes, and it's good to go through mistakes early in the season, so you're not faced with those later on in the season where it could be more of a distraction. I think this is all good for us right now. The growing pains will happen from time to time, but I think overall the team understands what they can do on the court, and defensively, from what I'm seeing from this team, they're picking it up. And every game they look a little stronger, especially with Mitchell Robinson on the court. And that's key for me, keep growing as a unit and seeing how far we could take this.
Man, yeah, I couldn't have said it better. I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's nice to watch, the process run its course. It takes a little time, and still, even at this point, I know it's tough to say it, but I don't believe the Knicks have played their best basketball yet. I just still feel there's certain little nuances that can improve. Offense has been looking like each game, offenses look better and better. So I will say on that side, I don't know how much better they can get, but defensively, there's still some things that they can do to improve and be even cleaner. And also, and if you wanted to nitpick offensively or nitpick, there's still a couple guys that are struggling to kind of find their way so far, but it's happening, and I think something's going to happen. Either they're going to find their way, or because the Knicks are playing so well, they have the luxury to say, maybe you're not the right fit. We might have to make a change. You know what I mean? So that's the good thing about being what everyone sees. Well, at least I hope everybody sees, is a championship contending team. Because when you're that good, your core is really what is fine tuning your play and what helps you win these games. Anything else adds on to it and gives much needed rest to the starters and to the key bench players that come in. But the bottom line is making sure that top 8, maybe 9, but that top 8 is rocking and they're good to go. That's the most important thing. But yeah, we'll see as we go forward, talking more about the Knicks team and the different things that are happening and what can be improved on and what type of things maybe we can come up with some solutions as to what we can do to help some of the struggling players. There's not a bunch, but there's one in particular that everybody knows, but there's another player that I think that maybe people aren't thinking about right now, and I feel like he's still struggling. But we'll talk about it. But yeah, so that was the Knicks game versus Minnesota, and the good thing about that is that like Karan was saying, they had another big 40-point quarter. This 40-point quarter thing is nice. I'm liking that. It was led by OG Anunoby 25-8, Karl Anthony Towns 15, 10 and 4 and 2 blocks, Mitchell Robinson 8, 10 and 3 blocks in 16 minutes. Mikal Bridges, 13-5. Jalen Brunson flirting with his first triple-double in his career, 23, 7 rebounds, and 10 assists. You had Josh Hart with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And you also had Miles Deuce McBride with 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. And just for honorable mention, Julius Randle got busy. He did have, in a losing effort, he had 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And Dante looked really good. He had 21, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists and a steal. So shout out to our former Knicks, but big shout out to our current Knicks for getting the job done taking care of business, like we knew they would. Like we knew they would. Unfortunately, there was only 2 games for the week. So we're going to talk about this Brooklyn game, and then we'll get into our regular Knicks talk. But it just feels like anticlimactic. Now that the Knicks are rolling and they look so exciting to watch, I'm like, now I want to see them every day. Like, 2 games? What is this? I feel cheated. Anyway, all right, I'm going to calm down. So we got the Knicks versus the Brooklyn Nets. This one was a laugher, folks. I don't want to say that I feel bad at how far or not how far Brooklyn has come at this point, but like I barely recognized that team I was looking at. I only knew a couple players. I'm like, I don't know these dudes. So, and it showed. Knicks wound up winning the game 134-98. As people were saying on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, barbecue chicken, belt to, where I'm going. Anyway, it was one of them games. Shout out to the Knicks for taking care of business. OG Anunoby had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Karl Anthony Towns had 28 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Mitchell Robinson in 16 minutes, once again, 8 rebounds, 8 points, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Like Mitch has been a monster in a short amount of time. Mikal Bridges had 16 points, a rebound, and 5 assists. That's the new thing from Mikal that we're starting to see more and more of. Every game, he's averaging like 4 or 5 assists. Shout out to him. Jalen Brunson had 19 points, 7 assists. Landry Shamet chipped in 8 and 3. Josh Hart had 11 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And then we also had Jordan Clarkson, who chipped in 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. In a very funny moment, he also got fouled out in this game, and I couldn't stop laughing at him, man, because it was hilarious. And Clarkson said after the game that Josh Hart was getting on him a little bit, but it helped him. He made him laugh and got him out of that bad mood he was in. So shout out to Josh for being a clown. Anyway, Karan, what was your thoughts on this game, man? The Knicks versus the Brooklyn / Jersey Nets.
So the good thing about this game is I have my notes for this game, and this game, honestly, so we knew we were going to beat up the Nets, just like we were going to beat up the Wizards. Like, these games are not going to be as competitive as we would, like them to be, or a lot of people discount your win based on the quality of the opponent. But there are some things about this win that I thought that was major important. The first was the first quarter. Mm-hmm. The Nets, even though they've been pretty bad, they've been a really good first quarter team. I watched their last game they played against the Pistons, and they were dominating the Pistons. They had an 8-point lead, and then eventually the Pistons came back because the Nets always find a way to lose. But the Knicks coming out and getting that another 40-point quarter in the first quarter, man, if the Knicks are rolling like that, we are 3-1 when we lead going into the second quarter. So, man, I was really impressed by that. Also, the balanced attack. You spoke about Mikal Bridges. I think I owe him an apology. I'm going to have to do an unfiltered thought on my channel where I give him an apology because I felt like Mikal wasn't a 2-guard on the offensive end. But I'm telling you what, he's looking more like a 2-guard on the offensive end. The more I see, like you said, he is averaging 5 assists a game thus far, even though it's early, it's still great. Great to see. Balanced attack in the first half. Towns had 14. OG had 14. Mikal had 13. And Brunson had 12. It was a beautiful balanced attack. That's what we want to see. To all my Brunson dribble people, he's coming off with the ball and other guys are getting involved. And they're also showing initiative for Towns. And I've been noticing this ever since the first game after the losing streak. Mm-hmm. They've been making it their duty, their priority to feature Towns in the offense, whether it's down low or whether it's on the perimeter. And that adjustment right there makes it good because now Towns, who was your second best scorer, and sometimes he gets lost. And, and then even one point he was in the corner. They don't got him in the corner no more. Thank God, because I thought it was doofy. If you watch the Houston Rockets, you're going to see Sengun posting up from the corner. It's like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad we made the adjustment to put Towns in the spots that he's more comfortable with at the top of the key and in the paint. And just speaking of Jordan Clarkson fouling out, I mean, I don't know how many times Jordan Clarkson fouled out last year, but Jordan Clarkson is playing defense. All of the guys in the rotation, they may not be the best defenders in the world, but they're playing defense. You gotta love it. We also got a glimpse of the 9-man rotation, which I think is like, I like the 9-man rotation, but I don't like the guards. I'm like, man, it's the whole bunch of 6'5", but when you watch the game, and I know it's the Nets, it didn't look as bad, right? And you see that the goal here is to move guys around. So Towns and Mitch, they're holding down the 5 spot. OG Anunoby spends a lot of time at the 4 spot, and Josh Hart, depending on where the matchup is. And that's, of course, if Yabu's not in the mix. And Yabu wasn't in the mix, but Mike Brown's a great coach. He knew, I'm not sure if he knew we were going to blow these guys out, but Yabu was able to get run in the second half. But those are some of the things that I thought that was, pretty interesting about this game. There's more, but, I think that's good enough for
now. Well, you know what? Just roll that into your talk just about the Knicks going forward. It's okay. It's all right. We can get to it.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I would say I definitely agree. There was a lot of good things to take away from this game. Even and one of the things that I will say before I get over to John, because I don't want to. Maybe he's thinking the same thing. Is just that I just like the evolution of the offense, man. I love the fact that now when you look at, and I do this only because I don't really care. I'm a Knicks fan, so I've dealt with. I'm a fan of teams that have struggled, so I'm used to bad press. But I love it when I see that the team is playing to a level that you can hate on them all you want, but you're impressed with the way they're playing. So I love that. I love the fact that they're highlight reels now of their passing and the sharing the basketball, because that is what makes basketball beautiful. And that's part of the reason why even some people, as I mentioned this a couple months ago, some people that I know were not that, even though the Knicks were winning last year, 151 games, they weren't necessarily happy with what they saw when they watched the Knicks on the court. They just didn't like the style of play. The isolation ball and the dribble, they weren't a big fan of. I mean, we're Knicks fans, so we love our team no matter what. We got used to it. That's the style. But just seeing them play this way is like, wow, it's night and day. I love this. So anyway, John, what's your thoughts on everything in that game versus Brooklyn in the barbecue chicken game?
Yeah. I 100% agree with both of you. I mean, the reality is that, this is the basketball that we, a lot of us who played the game wanted to see. Like, we all know that it, there's in every team there's always going to be a star player, and there's going to be a player who's going to dominate the ball, specifically, when you got players like Anthony Edwards, right? But you also understand that the game of basketball is more fluid when the pass is, the pass gets to the shot faster than it would a player dribbling the ball. You know what I mean? And so, it's a lot more fun to watch. It looks like the team is having fun too. That's on the court. They also thrive off each other. They make the additional pass, get their teammates involved, and that is just also creates good, just good team chemistry. And I think that's extremely important, especially with a couple of new players added to this roster. The guys who were here last year understand their role a little bit more defined. And then those who are just coming in to join this team, they totally understand that, hey, they're going to be a part of the mix, and they're going to be an integral part on how much this team grows and how far they can take it. So like you've seen Shamit coming in and, somewhat be impressive, whether he's, got the starting nod or coming off the bench. Like, the effort is there. And I think once you start seeing the effort, not only by Shamit, but by like Jordan Clarkson, or even when Yabusele is there, even though there are times where he looks lost in the game, the effort is there. He's putting in 100% effort. He may not be, 100%, comfortable with the system yet, but the effort is there. And I think that's all, any coach and coaching staff can ask for. But I'm really enjoying the way they've been playing. I enjoy playing teams that, it may not be up to our caliber, because that's an opportunity for the Knicks to get fat and sort of, work out any kinks, or work work into new strategy, new sets. Those are opportunities that you ain't going to be able to see on court action against like the top ranked teams. If we see the Rockets or we see OKC, we're really going to sort of like define who we are as a team. And so you have to be able to have games like this where you can sort of create on the spot or work out some kinks against a team who is not going to put up the amount of points that you're going to be able to put up. So, I'm not mad at it at us winning these games and winning these games in large margins like we did, because then now we can go further into the bench and see, some young kids get some playing time, like a Hawk Porty get some minutes, and Diawara and Kolek, like to see them get some minutes on the court as well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was thinking. I agree. That's what makes it very. It's fun that while the Knicks are playing really good basketball, learning the systems and getting better, I feel like honestly, here's a couple things that I'm one of those people that when I look at things, I overanalyze. I may overthink things at times because I always think maybe there's a cause and effect that I'm not thinking of. Shout out to the teachers in school. Some things stick because, when you're going through stuff, there's so many different scenarios, variables, and things that we don't consider. And even if we consider them, we don't know exactly what's true, right? We can like, hey, well, this and this happened. So that's probably why this happened. And it makes sense. We don't know that it's true. But then somebody else one day was like, you know what? I don't know if y'all know this, but in that game, do you know that this was going on? And that's probably why this. And then you're like, you know what? You damn sure right. That's true. That could have been the case. And that's why I think, it's fun to be a human and live life, because all of these different things and different scenarios can play in your mind like, oh, wow. And so the reason why I say that is because we talk about Tom Thibodeau and his use of the rotations and the rosters and implementing the young players into the mix, right? And the surface level automatically tells us, well, these young players didn't really earn a spot because they weren't ready. And then obviously the fans, the advocates are saying, well, how could you be ready if you don't play enough minutes, right? And so this is why I'm thinking about things differently. Now I'm hitting a different thought process. The other thing with having young players and allowing them to grow and flourish with your team is having a system in place that you can plug and play where they're set up for success and it's not so much on them individually to make strides and to impress and do what needs to be done. There's certain players that you can go out there and draft or acquire and trade or whatever, or free agency, that are just bucket getters, right? They come in like the kid that the Knicks traded to Washington. Well, I don't know if they traded him to Washington or whatever. Anyway, he's on Washington now, Keon George or whatever his name is. Yeah. That kid, when you see him move on the court, he looked like he could ball. It's not one of those, and this is not a knock. It's not Pacom Dadier when you're like, we want to see Pacom get busy. How can he do? Keon George looks like he can ball. You put him on any team and he gets some minutes, he's going to do something where you're like, oh, okay. Some players are like that. Dink Pate, who we have in the G League, he might be like that. So there's guys that are like that, right? What I'm saying is, I think the Knicks are set up better now to introduce young players to the team and to have them play well for the team, because now we have a system. Moving the ball, moving our bodies, having a set flow, having a time where people need to get in the lane. Everybody believing in each other and sharing. It allows young players to get involved a little easier. They don't have to do so much with the basketball. The ball's going to move and find its way, and then you just have to react. I think a young player could come in and do some things. So I expect before the season is over, that maybe Pacom will have a chance to do something. But I really think somebody like a Diawara will have a chance to do some stuff with this team, because I think the Knicks are being set up to a way that now they're a plug and play team where now the system is in place that guys can actually flourish in. What say you, Karan, as you would say?
Yes. Oh yeah, I do say that. Real quickly before I before I get to the young players, I just want to update the stat because I want to give us more props. So we're 4-1 when we lead in the first quarter, going to the second quarter, and we're 5-0 going into the fourth quarter with a lead. Just to toot our own horn with that. But as far as the young guys getting time, I do think it may not be all of the young guys, but Kolick has gotten time. Kolick was in the rotation, before he decided to shorten the rotation. Ariel gets run, especially when Mitch doesn't play, right? And he even started. So I don't think all of the young guys are going to get much opportunity. They may get some opportunity as long as we don't get bit by the health bug. Now, if we get bit by the health bug, then I think he has no problem with playing a Diawara because you can see his skills. I mean, he had a nice little corner three in garbage time. And I'm like, damn, I mean, if he can knock down them corner threes, he may give Mike Brown a good reason to consider at least making him the 12th man, or at least making him maybe the 11th man. Maybe that doesn't mean that you're going to play a lot every night, but now when he gives them little 5-minute spots, maybe you get a 5-minute spot. So Mike Brown is open. That's one thing we know. We know if guys go down, he's not going to lock off the rotation the way Tibbs did. And to keep it real, I think Tibbs, what they say, like, you're not given that much opportunity. Like you could mess up a great 10-year career in one moment, and that could be the end of your career. And I think that's what happened with Tibbs. Him warring with some guys in the front office. I mean, allegedly, that's what they, some of the reports say. And I think it's based on the fact that he wasn't feeling the guys that were there. That's why he wasn't playing them. But at the same time, you should have gave those guys a shot. I felt like a guy like Ariel would have benefited from the time that you gave to Jericho Sims. Imagine how far along he would have been if he would have played 70 games last year. And even a Pacome Dadier, who's 6'8", you needed that in your rotation, but he wanted to play 8 guys. Mike Brown's not going to do that. He's going to at least play 9 guys, but you're more than likely going to see 10 guys, and damn, you might see 11 guys. And of course, the way we're blowing out teams with 5 blowouts, if we get anything near 25, 30 blowouts, those are games where these guys get opportunity to come in and show what they got. So there'll be more opportunity. I just don't think a lot of those other guys, besides Kolick and Ariel, will get much more time, only because the team is so stacked. And I just think that, we're looking at a championship. So right now, while we understand we got developmental staff there, we brought the guy in to do development. That is there, but I think the focus is getting Yabu together. I think because Yabu is the guy who's been struggling. I think that's the next phase to try to get him comfortable. It's a little tricky with Yabu because he's not the rebounder that Hart, Mitch, and Towns is. So you take away that element, he's not going to, it's just the optics of it is not going to look as good because those guys are crashing the glass like crazy, right? And then also, he's not really comfortable on the offensive end. He still hasn't really figured out where he fits. He can knock down the 3 ball. He was shooting 38% from 3 last year, but we'll see what happens with
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's definitely the case. Speaking of Yabu, he's falling. He went from a lot of us thinking he was going to be the fan favorite to the fans are like, get him out of here. And so it kind of stinks. I feel bad for the guy. I wonder, John, what do you think about Yabu currently? And is there anything you think the Knicks can do to help Yabu start to contribute better?
It's hard to say that it's something that the Knicks necessarily need to do versus more concentration on his part as an individual player. More so because you run sets and you design plays generally for your scorers, and he is not a sort of a threat into that degree. Most teams predicate their offense around their guys, like their top 3 guys, and everyone else is there to sort of clean up the action, right? Either to let the play develop and you sit in the corner and have an open three, or you dive to the basket after a certain rotation. And so, the game isn't necessarily built for Yabusele to be a scorer for this particular team. Will there be moments where he does have an opportunity to shine? Yeah, he will get the opportunity the more that he plays. It's more for me on Yabusele to really figure it out. There's not much more that this team can do. They do swing the ball. They have action. He is involved in some of the action. Now, is he ready? Is he ready to shoot the ball? Is he ready to make the additional pass? Is he, on the offensive end, that's what I'm seeing. He's not all the way comfortable, right? Sometimes he has to be, sort of reminded where he needs to be in spots, specifically on the defensive end, not necessarily on offense, but I see it often on the defensive side. So I'm not sure if his lack of awareness on the defensive side is now then affecting his offensive play. And that could be the case. A lot of the time, it's players in their own head feeling and knowing that they're not contributing enough for what they're getting paid to do, and it begins the trickle effect of like players getting in their own mind and not being able to provide what they feel like they know they can provide, right? Because everyone at this level of basketball is an elite player, right? Don't care who you are. You could be the last guy on the bench. You're an elite player. And so it really just takes just confidence and him just getting, opportunities and allowing those opportunities to come to him naturally and building off of those little wins. And if he could do that, I think he's going to be okay. Not to say that it will happen for him this year, because sometimes it takes players 1 or 2 years, you know what I mean, to really gel and really get super comfortable. And, this is a league of what you have done for me lately. And so, right now he's in a 2-year contract, or
It's
is
a
he in
2 year. Yeah.
yeah, so he's in a 2-year
I wonder.
contract.
I think it might be a one with an option though. So
It's an
And if
option.
it's
It's an
yeah,
option.
it's an option. Yeah.
so if it's one in the option, if it's not all the way mixing correctly, we could probably see an opportunity for him to get packaged in February, right? But not to say that it's not his 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 play isn't well served. I think it's important for him to get involved as best as he can. But I think it's more on the player. I think there's not much that Mike Brown could do at this point. It's just, he's running a free offense, right? It's a pretty free offense. They're moving without the ball. It's a lot of passing going on. There's pick and rolls, there's back cuts. There's a little bit of everything. It's not like a Tom Thibodeau offense that is predicated on one player designed to make the option, right? It's more like this is a handful of moves, and we go to the hot hand when we can, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it.
I would hate to think. Did I mention before that I overthink and overanalyze stuff? Just in case. I would hate to think that Yabusele's willingness to become a New York Knick, because he said he loved what he saw from the Knicks last year, how they played, and the fact that he saw them on the rise, and they were becoming a championship contending team. But I would hate to think that he looked at us and how we played and saw him fitting in and didn't really take into account that Mike Brown is the coach now, and Mike Brown wants to run. And and he came into camp heavy, like, because the flip side of it is, if this was a young rookie kid in a different sport with a team that is already well established, you have to come in on your P's and Q's, and everything has to be right, because it's like you're coming into an opportunity that people should be lucky to get. I'm thinking about it differently because Yabu's a professional and it's different, but in a different scenario, you could say Yabu came into camp heavy. He wasn't ready to play. He just basically didn't come in the way Mike Brown would have liked to have him, and he didn't fit the system because he wasn't prepared. I would hate to think that's the case, but that's another way of looking at it too, because maybe that's another reason why. Because I'll tell you one thing, the Knicks are in very good condition because of how they've been playing the last few years. They played a lot of minutes, but they also had to get themselves in shape. to be able to sustain that. But Mike Brown is asking these guys to move. Yes, pace is not all about speed, running fast and all that. But in order to move the basketball, move your bodies and all this stuff, and also get into the lane and all this stuff quicker, these guys got to move. Like now they're looking comfortable. But if you remember the first 2-3 games, them Knicks was looking a little bit because they were running, like sweating a little bit. And I don't know.
Not to mention, Ron, it's also timing, right?
Yeah, timing too. True.
Timing is everything. So you may not have to run in a fast pace, but if you're not on time with your picks to get people open on their back cuts, if you're not making those screens at the right moments, it's timing is everything. And so seeing it, especially if there's a lot of off ball action, it's everything.
Yeah, and the fast paces. Oh, sorry, Ron.
I was going to say. No, go ahead. Don't forget what you're going to say. I was just going to say before, if you guys were wondering where I was going when I was talking about Diawara, part of the reason why I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if Diawara got into the rotation, I'm basically saying Diawara would take Yabu's minutes. But continue, Karan.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's a strong possibility. But the fast pace is not necessarily running fast, right? And then also people confuse fast breaks with fast pace. Fast breaks, you could have a team that's top 10 in fast breaks, but be bottom 10 in pace.
Right.
All pace is about the amount of possessions you get. So what Mike Brown wants, especially when he talks about in the half court, he wants to get shooters to the corners fast. So he can set the offense up as fast as possible. It doesn't mean they got to run at super lightning speed. It's about getting to your spots faster. So we get into our offense faster. It's not like Tibbs come up, dribble. You get to 12 seconds, you pass the ball. Now it's 9 seconds. Brunson gets the ball back, and now he has to dribble into a score. It's not like that. But also, and with Yabu, right? Because I watched his Eurobasket performance. I watched every game. I paid $20 just to watch him. I didn't watch Giannis. I didn't watch none of them. I just watched France, and I just watched him. And if I had the greatest performance, and I did, I would say it's probably a C+, B-. He didn't really show much, though. It was weird because he was getting double teamed. Like, I'd never seen a dude have no points, but these guys are rushing to double him. But where they were doubling him is where he likes to catch the ball, is in that mid post. There's no option in the Knicks offense for him to catch it in the mid post, right? So I think that is part of the adjustment, because he's also playing most of the time he's a 5 when he comes in the game. And so now he has to be the dribble handoff guy. I didn't really see him doing a lot of that. I know he can pick and pop because he can shoot, but his game is more predicated in that mid post, right? And he's not a dominant rebounder, so it's not going to look good when he's not scoring. Like, Mitch don't got to score at all, but you see him grabbing 10 rebounds. You're like, oh my God, Mitch is having an impact on the game. Plus, Yabu is not a good perimeter defender at all. He's a pick and roll nightmare in terms of if you put him in pick and roll and he has to switch, good luck. Okay. I seen that at Eurobasket. I seen the dude literally throw the ball in between his legs, pass the ball in between, ran the pick and roll, threw the pass in between Yabu's legs, got a nice assist for an easy bucket. I'm like, damn, he don't have no business on the perimeter. He's all right inside. You don't really see big guys picking on him on the inside like that, but it may not be the fit we thought it was going to be. But we still have to give it time, because Mike Brown has shown us one thing. He's willing to make adjustments.
He does make adjustments.
We do got to see. But that's kind of the Yabu quagmire, as I would put it.
No, and I appreciate that, Karan. Thank you. Thank you for your money. for spending money to watch those.
Yeah, just to watch Yabu. It's crazy, right?
No, I appreciate that. No, that's helpful. But it kind of does bring us back to that situation. Now, of course, it's still early, guys. It's only 9 games, and there's time to make changes and adjustments. But it is something to just keep in mind. Just put it in the back of your mind and say, okay, is Yabu a good fit for how this current Knicks team wants to play basketball? That's it. Forget it. Forget the weight. I said, it's not the greatest look for him to come in heavy, but forget the weight. If he didn't come in heavy, his style of play and what he's used to, does it gel? Does it mesh with what the Knicks are doing now? That's all we got to figure out. As long as guys can make the adjustment, because guys are always going to go through this period of, how do I fit in? What's my role? We heard Cat saying, I don't know what my role is yet before the season started. Cat looks fine now, doesn't he? We saw Josh Hart. People like, oh, trade Josh Hart. He looks like trash. He can't do anything. He can't play defense. He's horrible. He don't even know how to rebound anymore. Look at Josh now. So sometimes it just takes a little time just to see what guys can do. But I will say this, and I hate to be this guy because I'm not normally this guy, but I feel like every year I got to go out on a limb for one player. Now he's caught me. The other day I wasn't even thinking about him, but he reeled me in. I'm Team Diawara now. So I must say, Yabu doesn't provide defense. Yabu is not even the great pick setter that I thought he would be. With all that weight he's got, you imagine the type of picks he could set? Unbelievable. He's not even doing that. I'm not saying he won't, because Mike Brown could turn him into somebody who does more of that. He's not doing that. He's not the greatest rebounder, and he's definitely having a problem hitting his shots. I'm not getting on him about that because I think that's something that doesn't follow Yabu. Yabu is actually a good shooter. He has a track record of being a good shooter. Just right now, he can't see the rim. It's something is just not going in. The rim don't look like a big old huge bucket. But for the stuff we know Yabu can't do, Diawara can run. He can pass the ball. He's got length. He's got a level of athleticism. He plays much better defense than Yabu can. And he can give you a little scoring, especially now that, he went to the G League. His shot looks like it's falling. I'm just saying, Yabu can make, Yabu might be out of here and Diawara can make a difference. Just wanted to put that out there. I'm not ready yet, though. I got to give Yabu at least 20 games, but I'm just throwing that out there. John, I don't know. Am I going crazy, bro? I don't know.
One question: could Diawara play the 5?
I mean, if Yabu can play the 5, Diawara can play the 5. From what I'm seeing from Yabu, Diawara can do that. Same height, longer wingspan, can jump. I mean, what's the difference?
The weight, I would say, he's kind of a lightweight.
He's not using his weight to be physically imposing. He's not boxing people out. He's not, you know what I mean? Like, so what's the point? My bad. Go ahead, John.
I think it's too early. I think it's too early to land on whether he's going to be replaced or not. I think we're going to have to give it some time. Give it up to 30 games. I think 30 games is sort of the average to see whether a player is going to be able to stick or not. And again, you got to give Mike Brown a little bit of time to sort of make adjustments on his side, but also you got to everyone's a professional that's putting on a uniform. So really it's your spot until it's taken from you or until you lose it. And I think he hasn't started off well, but I think give him more opportunities and, just will alone, right? Just having a player's will can take you over the hump. It's all about confidence, I believe. I think every player at some point loses it a bit. And, it only really takes one good game to spark that in any one of these players. And I think Yabusele could have a breakout game where not necessarily scoring double digits, but just having an impactful game on the offensive end could probably, go well for him and provide something on the defensive side where you may see him be more active and getting boards and understanding what his role there will be as well. I think give it about 30 games, and I don't think his play is going to impact the game to the point where it's like we're going to lose a game because of him. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think the leash is longer, but I think 30 games, you would definitely know whether he can fit the scheme that Mike Brown is trying to run here. And if he doesn't, then you'll see more time for Hot-Porty potentially, or even Diawara. And I'll be okay with it.
I agree with you. Listen, I definitely believe that Yabusele can get it together. I'm just saying, if by chance he can't, that's where I would be leaning. Because I think Yabu, one of the big reasons why I love the fact that the Knicks got him is because every time I watch Yabu, he's all over the place. He has a high motor. He looked like I thought he was more physical. I seen him dunking on people. I seen him getting in people's faces. Remember the Olympics? He was going back and forth with USA. Like, Yabu looked like a dog. I'm not seeing any of that. I'm seeing little Bow Wow right now. No offense to
I mean,
Bow Wow.
he was also having a pretty good series, right, of
Right,
games.
right.
And I think going into that championship game or that game against the USA, Olympic team was sort of him at a very high point, right? And so, we didn't see that transcend itself into the Sixers. You know what I mean? Like he didn't become the second leading scorer of the Sixers, right? And
Correct.
so, like I think a lot has been said about the contract that he signed, right? It was a decent amount of contract. It was a decent signing at the time, and I could be wrong, but was even Mike Brown the coach of this team when he signed? I'm not even sure of that. And so if he was or he wasn't, if he wasn't, then he probably came in not really knowing what the situation is and signing on just the behest that he really enjoyed seeing what the Knicks were accomplishing, right? And seeing, whether, he could be a good fit and whether he would have an opportunity to play, knowing that they moved on from Randall and knowing that OG is not necessarily a four, but really a three, you weigh those options when you're a free agent. And so, for me, it's a wait and see game. Again, he doesn't have the longest of leashes, but I think
Mhm.
he's going to get opportunities, and we'll see where it lays. Again, he has an option, so that could be he can play himself directly out of this team, whether he plays good or if he plays poorly. Either is going to be an option for him.
Right. I agree. And let me just say real quick, come on, Sherwin. You know me long enough that when I say something, obviously I am not talking about an unfavorable matchup. And I don't think Mike Brown would do that anyway. If Yabu was hurt, right, and you had no Huck Porty, say Huck Porty was hurt too. You're starting Mitch, you starting Cat. They have to go down the line to see who's going to spell those minutes. Most likely, they got to go to whoever the tallest person they got on the team is. At that point, you're running into a Diawara. But does that mean, like, if the Knicks were playing Philadelphia, I think that Mike Brown's gonna put Diawara up against Joel Embiid? Come on, man. I'm talking about Diawara in there versus Nicholas Claxton. Diawara in there versus somebody that it makes more sense. I'm not talking about nothing crazy. Diawara up against Jokic. Like, come on, man. Anyway, let's move on. Come on, Sherwin. Anyway, but look, I'm not saying y'all should be ready for Diawara to come in there, but I've heard things. I got sources. People tell me things. I just don't be telling y'all because I don't want to be that dude. Like, these are some of my sources. Yeah, those are my sources, guys. That's how I find things. I type stuff into the Googles and anyway. Okay. So I also, before we move on from this Yabu thing, I was actually asking Sim about this, and he didn't know if that was something that could work or how the Knicks would go about doing that, because it might like mess up what they already have going. But I was wondering, is there a way that when Yabu comes in the game, if they gave him a decent amount of minutes, 13 to 15 minutes, something like that, that they could try to feature him? I'm talking early.
That's the issue.
Yeah, because I think if they could get him going and find out what he's comfortable with, all he has to do mentally is see the ball going into the hoop a couple times, and then, because he's wide open for some of these threes, it's just missing, and I know he can shoot. Yeah. So I was just thinking, what do you think about that, Karan?
I was gonna say the time is a problem. Not everybody could cut 2 minutes, get in there, out. It's like some guys, you need to play them for 5 minutes. It might take me 2 minutes to warm up, and I think that's another issue. In Philadelphia, he had a lot of time because Embiid was out. Drummond is not the most durable guy, so he got a lot of time at the 5 and the 4. And so he was able to get comfortable in Philadelphia. But in New York, he's the 11th man. And also to give, I think that was President Boss, he said he has a player option, for the record. Yabu has a player option. So that means he controls his own fate. So he will be up out of here if the Knicks, you know what I'm saying? Like Leon Rose has no hesitation on his trade button. So if he can't, adapt, I expect that trade if any trade to happen. If he doesn't, that's of course if he doesn't turn it around. I think he has time, but what Ron said is the key. He needs that stretch of time, that 13-minute stretch, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. Don't do the 3 minutes and you out.
Mm-hmm.
You never get to see the magic of Yabu. He needs more time, but there may not be more time to give him.
And the other thing, I want to see what John says about the next thing that we're going to get into. But the other thing that I wanted to say too is, like, Mike Brown, maybe not recently because Yabu's been struggling, but there was in this spell of games, there was like 1 or 2 games where Mike Brown tried to give Yabu some consistent minutes. And still he didn't really get out of his slump. See, he did it with Clarkson and it worked for Clarkson because Clarkson is a nut. You know, he knows how to ball though. Clarkson is Clarkson. He gonna get his. Yeah. Just give him some time. He'll get it. He'll figure it out. And so he's right. He got it back, but Yabu still can't figure it out. And I'm just wondering, like, one thing, like, in being that Mike Brown is good at making adjustments, one thing worked for one, it may not work for the other. What extra could you do to help somebody like Yabu? And I just think that maybe, even if you won't want, okay, forget what I said as far as getting those consistent minutes. Maybe you can't give him 6, 7, 8 minutes at a time. Yeah. Maybe it's got to be something smaller. But even when he's in there, maybe run a couple, because the thing is they're doing read and react. But maybe for just this instance, you run a couple plays for Yabu. Just see if you can get him going with a couple good looks. And, you know, you also might have a favorable matchup where his size is bigger than the player who's guarding him. So see if we can take advantage of that a little bit. But, you know, that's just a thought. And we'll see what happens down the line. I do think that Mike Brown is the type that he will experiment. And, you know, they do know money's tied to Yabu, so they don't want to just put him in a situation where he doesn't look good or he can't succeed. They want to give him opportunities. So we'll see. Now, to your point that you were talking about, and I'll get right to you, John. I just wanted to say this because Mitchell Robinson just said this the other day. Apparently, the 3-minute spurts, Mitchell Robinson loves, because he's like, yeah, I go in there, get them 3 minutes, I go hard, I do what I got to do, I come out, get a little breather, I go back in there. He kind of likes it. So, so it works for some people, not everybody.
Right.
What were you going to say, John?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, there could be an opportunity where, you know, Mike Brown figures out a switch action that can get Yabusele on a smaller defender, and where he can take advantage of him being a post-up player that you were speaking about, Karan. You know, and potentially he can, you know, make something work. Again, it's going to be far and few though, but you know, there could be some action that, you know, he may be able to, you know, provide for him. But again, it's just about a player's confidence, and anything to get a player's confidence going. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be in a game. It could just be some action during practice runs, you know, that someone could figure it out and like, oh wait, this works for me. You know what I mean? You know, and that could happen. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, like I said, he's going to have, you know, he'll have a couple of games left in him to provide something. And if he doesn't, we all are aware that there's a possibility of him not being here with the team long. So, you know, that said, you know, just want to comment on Foot, man. It took him 42 minutes to score a bucket on me, just so FYI. I see him up there.
See,
talking smack.
That's so you guys, you know, like me and John know each other. We grew up together, and then that's an inside thing of John playing basketball. One of the dudes in our hood that was nice. I mean, he was really good. He let me tell you something. Anytime you play dudes that don't mind busting your butt with Tim's on, you know they nice. So it's just one of them things. It's crazy. Anyway,
unbelievable. 15 years older than me and talking smack. Huh? What are you doing?
I mean? Come on, man. You know. So let me just do a quick little roll call, and then I want to get to these guys for a couple more things, and we'll get out of here because, you know, it's getting late. Even though I don't have to work tomorrow. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to rub that in for people who do have to go to work. I apologize. Shout out to Michael Servideo, which is Yuri. Shout out to you, my guy. Appreciate you. Good to see you as always. Shout out to the Nick of Time show, the whole crew over there, whether that be Ebony, B, Ryan, Lee, Phil, Apollo, Eru, Jay Ellis, Man, did I miss anybody? I don't know. I think I got everybody. I hope I didn't. Oh, Fritz. Everybody, man. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to BS 10258, a member of the SKF Army. Salute to you. Appreciate you. Shout out to Crim's dad in the building, a member of the SKF Army. Salute. Coach Saya is in the building. What up, Coach? Good to see you. Sherwin's in the building. What up, Sherwin? We got Ron Man, the chosen one. That's Jay Chosen for y'all. Appreciate you. Good to see you. JJ's in the building. What's going on, JJ? Dripmore, the preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community, is in the building. Let's go. What up, Drip? Shout out to HRM the Great. What's going on, HRM? Hey, Lotoria. They is. Tori B's in the building, a member of the SKF Army. Salute. Tendril Sound is here. What up, Tendril? Randu is in the building. What up, Randu? Good to see you, my guy. Sorry, breezing through. Darlene Bryant is in the building. Let's go, Darlene. Good to see you. Kareem Grant is in the building. What up, brother? Member of the SKF Army. Good to see you. Nick Yak is here. What up, Nick? Nick Nation is in here. Let's go. Member of the SKF Army. Shout out to Nick Nation. And man, give another special shout out to Nick Nation because he's been he's been the newest member to our panel shows on Saturdays, Know the Ledge. And he's definitely bringing a lot of good conversation, great takes. And I really enjoy chopping it up with him as well as everybody else, the regulars that we have. But he's a new addition and I really enjoy chopping it up with him. So thank you, Nick Nation. Appreciate you. J Tap is in the building, or should I say J Tape? My bad. Salute to you. Good to see you. And all right, breezing through. I think pretty much got all. Oh, Prezi the boss is in the building. What up, Prezi? Good to see you. AP is here. All right. And I'm sorry, guys. Just want to give y'all a little bit more love because, first off, the show started late. With the technical difficulties, and I know y'all all have been real patient with us. No Cap Life's analyst is in the building. Salute, No Cap. Good to see you.
Nice.
All right. G Roldan 78 is in the building. What up, G? Good to see you, man. Q Burrow Mad Thorough. Q Burrow Brothers in the building. Salute. What's good? Okay. All right. I think I got everybody. East Blue Drew is here. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you. Thanks, everybody. Listen, it's not for lack of trying, but we want to keep the show going. But thank you to everybody. And if I missed anybody, Walter White, then it's all love. Appreciate y'all, man. Oh, my bad. One more. L. Pew pew in the building. What up, L? Damn it. Good to see you. The return. And I cannot forget Craig. Craig will get mad as hell at me after all the times he sends me messages. Shout out to my guy, Craig. What up, brother? Good to see you, man. All right, guys. Thanks once again. Shout out to Nostra Nav in the building. Appreciate you. All right, let's get back to it. So real quick, guys, I don't know how many people have been focusing on this yet. And I know a lot of people, usually when things are going good, they don't really bring it up yet until they're like incredible, right? And I'm not saying we're incredible yet. We might be on the way. Oh, look at that. Shout out to Dizzy DiCaprio. Now, that's a name I haven't seen before. I had to mention that one. That's a dope name. What do you guys think about the New York Knicks defense and how it is starting to progress? Now, I will say it affects us and it kind of skews the numbers. The Brooklyn Net game was kind of, it's going to help that Knick defense look really good, but take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was, Mitch didn't have to stick up both hands. He only had to kind of lift up one. You know what I mean? It's different against Brooklyn. I'm just saying. My bad. I'm killing Brooklyn. My bad, y'all. Sorry, Brooklyn fans is like, what's wrong with this? I hate that show. I hear you. It's cool. I got you. I'm sorry, man. But anyway, Knick defense under Brendan O'Connor is looking pretty good. They've got rid of the drop coverage. They're playing a different style of defense. Now, I will say it's not perfect. We all see the hiccups. They're definitely at some points allowing people to get into the lane. And most importantly, we are giving up a lot of threes. I will say some of these threes are a lot more contested than they were in the past, but they still knocking these damn things down. So the defenses, it's got some holes in it, but it's something that it can. I would say the Knicks are much better at contesting like important shots, right? When they got to get a stop, they've been doing better at getting stops. And when, for the most part, when guys do come in the lane, the Knicks put the clamps down. There's some moments where they get by, but for the most part, I think they are doing a good job. Currently, the Knicks are 10th overall in the NBA on defense. So that's a pretty good place to be right now as they continue to grow. What do you guys think about that? Karan, what's your thoughts on the Knicks defense under Brendan O'Connor, and, just a different style of defense, no more drop coverage, just, playing man-to-man, aggressive switching, and all the stuff that they've been doing to kind of, work this new style. Oh, also, big shout out to Humberto De Lejos in this house. Shout out
Salute
to
to
you,
Humberto.
What's going on? All right, go ahead, Karan. My bad.
No, it's all good. I think that the defense has been pretty good. All I want is a defense that's around 10th rank. Well, we could be in the top 10. That's great. But if we're around 12, I'll take that, because what that's showing to me is that they're making initiative to stop guys. Now, salute to some of my people that follow me on my channel. Y'all know that my favorite standing stat, when you look at the standings, is, and I think it's the second important stat, but that's differential, right? Point differential tells you who's for real and who's fugazi. So when you look at the Knicks right now and you look at their standings, I'm pulling it up. They have the best differential in the East right now, 8.7. Of course, that net game helped us, but I think that trend is going to continue. I think we're the best team in the East, and I expect to see that continue. But us not notching that 8-point mark, if we could sustain that for a little while, it'd be a great look. We're 5 blowouts. We're dominating teams right now, and the defense is playing a major role, because here's the magic, right? So we were making this big deal about who starts, who comes off the bench. It doesn't matter in Mike Brown's system, because everyone is doing multiple things. No one is in one spot. So all of that, Mikal Bridges is a 3. He's not a 2. He's going to be a 3. He's going to be a 2. He's going to be all over the place. So now we're getting to see Wingstop. And Wingstop is not necessarily, their brilliance is not just them on the ball. It's what they do off the ball. You're seeing guys in the passing lane. You're seeing OG Anunoby getting steals, getting dunks. Mikal Bridges doing the same thing. The defense is a lot better because, one, they're throwing teams off with a matchup zone. That's something new that they run at times. And, it's really presenting a lot of challenges, because, now game planning for the Knicks is going to be, how do you game plan for these guys? At one point, Mikal Bridges is guarding your point guard. Next thing you know, it's Deuce McBride. Next thing you know, it's it's a constant cycle. Like when Mike Brown said that Mikal won't be the only one guarding the point of attack, you see it. It's brilliant. I just want to see them continue to shine, and I think it could get better. How much better, we'll see. But the offense right now, we are second-ranked offense as well. Man, it's beautiful basketball.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. John, what's your thoughts on defense? Because I know you're big on. I mean, of course, offense is important, but you're also very big on defense. How you feel about what you've seen from the current Knicks overall?
I mean, outside of the blowout loss against the Bulls, I thought, we've been playing solid defense for the most part this entire season. I mean, it's a short span of games, but I think, I think we, as having, Mitchell Robinson healthy is going to be a key factor in, how we do in the standings on the side of defense. I think if he goes down for any point in time, we will start to dwindle out a little bit. I think we will still be a strong defensive team, perimeter-wise, but I think he just gives a little bit of more of that that extra defense that every team needs. A shot blocker, so a presence down low, and also his rebounding is key, right? His having a guy who's 7 foot who can rebound the way he can, not only on the offensive side but on the defensive side. Alongside Josh Hart and OG Anunoby, crashing boards, it's going to be key to us getting back on the offensive side. So I like what I'm seeing. I think it's sustainable if everyone stays healthy, God willing. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this team continues to develop, and if we can stay top 15, I mean that's a recipe for success right there. So we're going to be top three offensively. So that's without question. So for me, defense, if it's top 15, we're in good shape.
Yeah, I'm with you. My conservative goals for this Knicks team is top 5 offense, top 15 defense. My realistic goals that I think they can make is top 5 offense, top 10 defense, because I think as long as they follow the teachings of Brendan O'Connor and Mike Brown, what they want them to do, and they buy in, like they can't take plays off and take quarters off, they will be top 10 because they just have enough defensive guys out there. And like you said, with Mitch out, and I'm gonna give Mitch credit once again for 2 things. First off, I'm gonna give him credit because a lot of times we don't see how good Mitch is defensively because he has a track record of guys not testing him. But for whatever reason, to start this season, guys have been trying to get funky and test Mitch, and Mitch is throwing the blocks up now. So I know Mitch is happy because he don't get these opportunities. So keep testing him so he can keep eating, and Mitch has been doing great. And I also want to give Mitch a lot of credit because when Mitch first came into the league, he was a decent rebounder, but then he picked up offensive rebounding. And then he became a great offensive rebounder. But my only little knock on him was I'm like, he gets offensive rebounds, but he don't really get the defensive rebounds. Like he wasn't really. Right. Mitch is an incredible rebounder now on both sides. Like now he's just grabbing boards. Like he's a vacuum with these boards now. So shout out to Mitch for working and continue. I got to give him credit. Like I've been one of those that I've been tough on Mitch because of certain things that I want him to improve on. But I can say, honestly, he has been doing it. He did it last year to start the season. Or was it the year before? The year that he started the season when he was averaging like 4 or 5 steals. And I was like, what is this guy doing? But anyway, I think that was 2 years ago. But he's been doing it. He's been making strides. So I give Mitch the credit. If you're going to be good at something, take it to the next level. You're already good. Just, keep working on your craft. And so he's been doing that. So shout out to Mitch. So before we
welcome. Those spurts where we were talking about earlier, I think those are benefiting him, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think he enjoys that because he knows that he doesn't have to worry about getting too tired, too winded, running up and down the court with these guys. And Mitch has a thing in him that he wants to try to defend everything. If it's around his area, he's going to jump out. So yeah. So I want to get to this real quick before we get to our last words. Earlier, I said there was 2 players that I think are still struggling. One is obvious, which we already talked about. That's Yabo. The other player that I feel is still struggling. Now, you guys, he's had moments, so I know it, but Deuce. For whatever reason, Deuce is still he's very inconsistent with his shot. I mean, he had 0 points in the other game. The Knicks put up 138 points. He had 0. So I mean, am I overreacting that Deuce needs to be more consistent? I mean, I know when you see a team like the Nets, how we blow them out, it doesn't really matter, but we ain't always going to play the Nets. And at some point, Deuce is going to be needed out there. So I'm just saying, like, what do you think about Deuce's inconsistently with the jump shot, Karan?
Well, right now, his numbers are down. He was averaging 9.9 last year. He's 8.3 right now. But he is still shooting 39% from 3. So I'm not too concerned about Deuce because this is Yabu's problem. See, Yabu, because he's not a great defender at all, and he's not a great rebounder, so he doesn't look like he's impacting the game. Like Mitchell Robinson doesn't have to score, but you guys, how you praise his defense. Deuce McBride's defense is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's been incredible all year. He's guarding guys 94 feet. He's the only guy in our rotation right now that can guard 94 feet. So while, some games he doesn't score and, it's not looking like, damn, what's going on with Deuce? But as long as his defense is what it is, if he continues to be in the plus minus god that we've seen from him in the past, I'm not sure what his plus minus is right now. If I can pull it up really quick, but if he continues, right now his on court, he's plus 13.3. His on off is 7.8. He's always had the best on off court and
One of the best on the team.
on the team.
Yeah.
So as long as that's there, I'm not worried.
Okay.
And his defense, like I said, propels him. The offense is going to come, but he's still shooting 39% from three.
I mean, it's really weird. Thank you for bringing that up, Karan, because that helps me too. Because sometimes I try to look at stats, but sometimes it's also the eye test. And my whole thing about Deuce is I sometimes see that he drifts a little bit with his shot, so that's part of the reason why he misses. But the other thing is, like, I feel like sometimes he has a lack of focus. And the only time I really see this is when he's in layup mode. When he's trying to get layups, especially in fast break situations, he misses a lot of layups. And I'm like, Deuce he's got great wingspan, 6'9" wingspan, good hops, and he works. It's not like he don't work. And I'm just wondering, like, is there something? There's a little bit like these are points that you leave on the floor. You don't get as many opportunities. You're not a featured player, so to leave points on the floor. All that like that, I'll prefer him to be a little bit more consistent with it. But I agree with what you're saying, and that's a really good comeback to that point. Shooting 39% from three, and it's not like it's 2 attempts. It's on almost 5 attempts, 4.7.
Right.
So shout out to you. I agree with that.
Well, I was gonna say the same thing. Like I think it's also sample size, and I think when you're speaking about sort of Deuce's high energy going for those layups and sometimes overshoots. I think that's sort of the Russell Westbrook effect, where the energy is so high and the aggressiveness and the nature in which he drives to the basket has to be sort of tempered. It just doesn't come with the game that he plays, right? And so games that he's on, he's going to be on, and then games that he's high energy and he may miss a couple of layups. Sometimes you would think it's a gimme, but again, he's also a 6-foot player, right? He's barely 6'1", right? If I'm, I could be wrong, but he's
listed at 6'2".
He's
6'2", 6'3".
He could, 6'2".
So, you know what I mean? You still that height isn't you're gonna have to play amongst the trees, right? And so sometimes you get it a little higher. It's all touch and feel when you're around the basket. So again, short sample size. I think he's gonna have moments this year where he can't miss, and then you're like, oh man, we needed those threes, especially in the big game. And I still see that for Deuce, and I think he's going to be here for the long haul. I think he's an intangible type of player, similar to Mitchell Robinson. It's like when they're gone, you really, really do miss them. So he's one of those guys who has to be a fixture here with the Knicks, unless we can't afford him no more. At least that's my belief. But
right. No,
right now he's in a great contract and he's a great fit.
And if there was ever a guy who needed to get a little bit more money, is Deuce. You don't gotta go crazy, but he definitely deserves to get paid a little higher the next time around, because we've got bargain Deuce for quite some time. So that's a fact. Shout out to Freeman in the building, says Deuce has the intangibles you don't see on the stat sheet. That's a fact. That is 100% true. 100% true. L, damn it, in the building with the hearts. Appreciate you, L. And also shout out to Latoria, who mentioned that we are currently 2nd in offense and 10th in defense. So that's beautiful. I mean, honestly, like I said, we all threw out different things about the Knicks and their styles of offense and defense, but the Knicks could very well be number 1 in offense. They very well could be, especially the way they're shooting right now. The outside shooting is the key. The outside shooting is what takes them to the next level, because they could still be a top offensive team if they're not knocking down the threes the way they are currently. They could still be decent, but they are knocking these joints down right now.
That's been the most impressive things I've seen so far, is the rate that they're knocking down the three. And not to mention, I think OG and I don't know why I'm forgetting, but they're probably leading the league in corner threes, right?
Oh,
Mikal is number 1 in corner.
Yeah.
OG as well. Like they're just knocking them down. The corner
They up
threes have
there.
been on specialty. So
And so here's the thing, like, and part of that goes back to this new system, because it's not just about the ball movement and the passing. It's also because of the ball movement and the passing, these guys are getting like a little bit more time to get their shots off before the defense can collapse. So maybe last year they were getting some wide open threes. This year they're getting more wide open opportunities with a little bit more distance because the Knicks are moving a little quicker with the ball. So these guys, it's almost like a practice shot because you don't have to focus so much on the defense. They're not even in your peripherals. You're just worrying about the basket. That changes a lot. And I get it now. I respect it more. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors. I expect.
Yep.
I can.
That's it. Yep. That's how they play.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So anyway, like I said, this show has been rocking, and we obviously could go forever the way we talk and have such great conversations. It's always fun when we got Karan up here from the Objective Knick Fans Show. But I do think we should shut it down, give people, a break, some time to rest. My guy John is over there dealing with a little bit of mini cold. I see it. I see you, Playboy. I get it, man. So let me just get over to final words and stuff and get up out of here. So John, your final words, my brother?
Yeah, it's interesting. I kept turning off my camera just to try to peek a quick, I was like, it's coming out of nowhere though. I started today, I was fine, and all of a sudden now I'm starting to get
John, if there's anybody who knows, there's nothing worse, especially when I'm up here by myself and it's happening.
Oh yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst. Anyway, man, glad to be here. Glad to hang out with both of you. This is a joy of mine. I'm glad I could make it 2 in a row. It's great, to start the season off. But as I always say, man, stay blessed out there, stay healthy, and I'm looking forward to the next one, which will definitely be next week. So I'll see you there. 3 in a row. Let's go.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Let's go, baby. And shout out to our guy Jay Chosen. No open phone lines tonight, man, because we have a special guest and we want to be able to be able to talk and have that great conversation that we always do with Karan. If the show, if you guys had heard how the show was supposed to start about 20 minutes earlier when we were talking for no reason, maybe there would have been some time to open up the phone lines, because then we would have already got all that out. We're repeating what we had already said to y'all that y'all never heard. But anyway,
right.
It's funny. But before I get over to Karan, let me just say a couple things real quick. First off, before I get to Karan, let me give a special shout out to my guy Jay Chosen. He did mention that tomorrow is his daughter Jasmine's birthday. So shout out to Jasmine. Happy birthday. One time for the one time.
Happy birthday. Yes.
Happy birthday.
All right. Sorry, my bad. One time for the one time. Shout out to you, Jasmine. Hope you have a great birthday tomorrow. Make your father show you this so you know that people don't know you are happy for you and wishing you the best. Appreciate you.
Heard up.
Bless.
Oh, man. Okay. So real quick before I get to Karan, let me just say this, because I hope you guys understand that when I say stuff to y'all, when I talk about different channels, when I big up my fellow people in the Knicks community, when I put up the list of all the other channels out there, which I have to do a new one for y'all because some things have changed. I'll do it one of these Saturdays. When I do all that, it's because not only do I respect, appreciate, and I like these channels. I admire the stuff they do, and I love the creativity. I like the people. They're good people. Karan and what he's doing at the Objective Knick Fan is fantastic. It reminds me he's passionate. He puts in a lot of time and effort. It reminds me of how, John and I were when we started still Knick fans. And I'm not saying I'm jaded and I don't have the passion anymore. But, it's like 5 years into this now. Things change a little bit. I'm still rocking, but those first couple years, man. But Karan does a fantastic fantastic job. You know, he has a show and multiple shows that he does, call-in shows, you know, lunchtime shows, all types of shows in which he puts a lot of stuff together. And I think that, you know, if you guys don't know about the Objective Knicks Fan Show, please check him out and show him some love, because not only does he give you all of these different shows, he takes the time to give you off the cuff, you know, information. He gives you formatted stuff as well, which takes more time to format stuff and put things together. Believe me, when I did his last show, when he gave me the breakdown of it, it was a lot of stuff. So, you know, he puts in the time and puts in the work. And I think that, you know, more of us in the Knicks community should gravitate and tune into the Objective Knicks Fan Show. Because like I said, he puts a lot of time and effort in. He's got a Discord channel. He's got a newsletter for y'all. Like this stuff takes time and work. And believe me, we don't get paid for it. So the fact that he's doing all this and doing it thoughtfully, giving you research mode stuff and really giving you see him coming with the stats. So I just want to say once again, appreciate you, Karan. Thank you for everything you're doing with the show. I hope that you continue to keep growing and keep glowing. We'll be right here for the ride. You know, you're always welcome here, your family. But anyway, your final words, brother. Thoughts on anything you got going on?
Yes. First of all, I thank you guys. You know, still Knicks fans. You guys are like the family channel. You know, as anytime I could big you guys up, I always do. I love your platform. Great vibes. You know, the Monday night show, that's my favorite show. Even though I don't be in the chat, I listen in a lot. And you know, because at this time when, you know, things get settled down, my son's sleeping, I got more free time and I'm just a vampire. So this is when I could really do the things that I want to do. But I appreciate you guys. And you know, I'm glad that we connected, you know, and salute to the chat. Like our chats are like family. You know, I see a lot of the same names. Salute to all the people that said, you know, what's up. Yeah, man, definitely check me out, the Objective Knicks Fan. I'm on the path to 5,000 subs. I think right now we're like 6 subs away from 1,600 or something like that. So, you know, I appreciate that if you can help me with the bump. And then also, like Ron said, I have a lot going. I do a lot of shows. I'm doing post-game shows now. So after every game, you know, we're going to get on there, get on the line and talk. I also give you my 4 notables, you know, breakdown of the games as you see. So definitely check me out. But if you guys are curious to know how I'm so good with stats, right, and all these things, I write it down, and I have notes all over the place. And my lady's like, man, you got so many notes. What are you going to do about it? So in order to consolidate my notes, I created this journal. It's called the 82 Nights of Basketball Fan Companion. It's a sports journal and stat tracker. This is a mock-up. So this is not the official tissue. You know, it should be coming to me tomorrow. So, you know, right now I have pre-orders available. And for the Still Knicks fans family, you can order it right now. If you put in the code Still Knicks fans, you'll get 10% off. So just as a way to show love to the community. And this journal comes with a lot, not just the stats, not just the journaling aspect. It comes with 12 different components. One of the main things is the 82 Nights Club. It's an online platform. You go there, you can log in, and that's when you're going to see different things, add-ons, cheat codes, video tutorials. Now, the cheat code is basically me filling out all the stats for you. So all the stats that you get in here, if you're a Knicks fan, especially, I will have all of the Knicks stats there. So now when you get your journal, you don't even have to write it. You can literally just go there and just copy all of the stats and things that I write, and you don't have to, you know, pretty much, you know, do it for yourself. It's, you know, this thing right here took me a while to do, and I'm happy that it's done. So, you know, definitely go check it out on thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, which is the blog that Ron was mentioning earlier. I have a podcast on Mondays, which Ron was a feature on, episode 2. And I drop a blog every Monday morning, which pretty much breaks down all of the news for the week. Everything that happens within the week's time, you go there and you'll be able to see it. So whatever you miss, if you know, a lot of us got careers, families, so you may not be able to stay on top of everything. No worries. I do it all for you. This is one of my missions on YouTube is one, I want to enhance the fan experience. So this is what we do on YouTube. Definitely check me out. Definitely check out the journals. Like I said, Still Knicks fans, you get the 10% discount. I appreciate you guys. And also, Ron, I didn't know John was going to be here, but I will be sending you a copy of this. So I will be sending you your own copy, Ron. John, I'll take care of you later. But Ron, you definitely be on the lookout for that. We'll touch base on how you would like me to get it to you. But and once you get it, I guarantee you, you're gonna be like, man, I mean, it has video tutorials. Like, yeah, this is going to change the game. So,
hey, man, listen,
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Hey, guys, you heard what I said, right? I said it reminds me of me and John. The first couple of years of doing, so passionate, ready to do anything. I'm full of ideas.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I'm living vicariously.
Keep that energy, man. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great, bro. That is fantastic.
Thank you,
I listen, you know, one day, maybe I'll be able to retire and still be doing Knicks stuff and do it to that level. I'll be old with old eyes, so I have to get somebody else to do it. But I have the idea. Can you do that for me, young whippersnapper? Thank you.
You know, not for nothing, we may have to invite you on quarterly just to do a little bit of diving on that journal right there.
Yeah. That would be dope. Yeah.
Definitely, man. I'm definitely going to try to make an appearance more often, but I'll talk to Ron about that. Mondays, my Monday schedule has changed a bit, but yeah, we make it.
We find the way to make it work as always.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
I just want to say once again, thank you to Karan, the Objective Knick fan. Please go as soon as you can, go right after the show is over. If you haven't already checked out his show, subscribe to it. I'm gonna put the link for you. Give me 2 seconds. I'll put the link for you in the chat. So you all you got to do is click the link, become a subscriber, a supporter of the show. Like I said, you will not be disappointed. He gives you really good takes, really good information, and he puts a lot of time and effort into it. And because I understand a lot of people like to, feel like they're getting, something for nothing. Well, you are getting a bunch for nothing. So, and he's giving you all of that. Please go show him some love. Like I said, you won't be disappointed, man. That's the best way to be in this community. We gotta grow together. You know what I mean? And the best way to do that is by supporting each other. So let me just put this title up there. Objective Knicks fan. Let's go. There you go. There's the link, guys.
I appreciate
that link and check them out and subscribe and like the content. Send them some. And also the other thing too is I say this all the time. I don't know how many people actually do this. People do it for us. Feel free to get into people's people's shows and type comments and stuff. We listen. We watch. So feel free.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to say thank you to everybody. Shout out to Wiz BKLA in the building. Appreciate you, Wiz. I see you. Thank you to everybody for always continuing to support not only our show, but all the other shows in the Knicks community. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is a labor of love. We're fans, and we're passionate about our fandom, and we love our New York Knicks. So let's keep it going. Hey, as you know what I say, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, no matter what, we are still Knicks fans, baby. Let's keep it going. And if you haven't heard me say this before, let me say it again. That's right. Still Knicks fans. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. We here 9 p.m.-ish on Mondays for SKF Weekly or 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays for Know the Ledge, as I help talk some of y'all off the ledge. And y'all really made me put me to work the other day. So I appreciate y'all. And whenever we do some impromptu content, check us out. Appreciate the love and support. Appreciate you guys supporting everybody else in the community. And last but not least, guys, be good. And if you can't be good at it. That's right. We out of here, baby. Let's go, Knicks.
New York Knicks. First. Go Knicks.
We can finally, start playing, man. So much talk this whole summer. It's felt like so long because we've had so much to talk about. At times it was been kind of slow, but we've been talking, right? But we've actually had a really good off season for this New York Knicks team, and it's been very active. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Knicks family, we in the building. I am the Objective fan from the Objective Knicks fan channel. And I'm going to give a big salute to Ron and John from Still Knicks fans.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Knicks family, I'm Stephanie, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk. We are still Knicks
What's going on, everybody? It's your girl, Lady and the Chef from Two Knicks Chicks Podcast. Still a Knicks fan.
What's good, party people in the place to be? It's your main man.
What's up, everybody? This is Steve Locks 21 at Two Knicks Chicks Podcast, and I'm still a Knicks fan.
Yo, this is your boy Sim from Nothing But Knicks. Through all the struggles, through all the heartache and pain, ladies and gentlemen, I am still a Knicks fan.
Peace, y'all. This is Apollo Reed from the Garden Knicks crew. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm still a Knicks fan.
I'm still here. We're still here. Still Knicks fans. It's a fandom. It's a lifestyle.